Hi, Kevin at Ledoux Guitars. I've got another installment on this major surgery, replacing a top on this jumbo guitar for you today. I have just completed uh, carving the braces of this top, voicing it, and I think we're where we want to be with this. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm hearing a lot of different frequencies, good rumble, so I'm pretty happy there. We're ready almost to put it down on the rim. However, uh, when I remove the top, of course, you don't get a perfect surface, so this all has to be refurbished. I'm going to bring the camera in closer and show you just a couple of the details that I've had to work around to get this ready to glue the top back down. Most of this lining is really in good shape, but there's glue residue and things on it from taking the old top off. And where the braces were tucked in, um, that lining had to be pulled out. I could have glued stuff on top of it, but I thought it would look neater if I just replace it. And you can see here and probably here, you can see the newer material where I've done some of that work. Um, but over here, I have not completed that. I found that these are pine linings. I used to use white pine for my linings back at this point in time, and I found that I had to make a little bit more because I didn't have a stick of it on the property. So I made some up, and I removed the residue, the old lining, by simply chiseling that away. I did that with a much narrower chisel, but by reaching down there and chiseling that out, and then I found that using this razor file, I could get in there and improve that, clean that up, and get it smooth. And then I've even found that taking a piece of, in this case, 120 grit garnet paper and wrapping it around that file, it was convenient to get down in there and just clean that up because, of course, you want a nice clean glue surface. So now it's just a matter of getting a piece of lining of the correct length, which I guess we're going to go with that. So I'm just going to break that right off and check it for a fit, of course. That is acceptable. So I'm going to clean the end up and I'm going to reach in there. And you know what? That's not acceptable. There's too much of a gap, so I'm going to cut another one. So I just cut another piece off camera. And of course, we're going to slather that up with glue. And I'm not afraid to use a little excess glue in this context. Get it in there, get enough of it to stick this thing together. And I'm going to slide it in and let it stand ever so slightly proud so that it can be abraded back. And I'm sure many of you know this, but you know, a good hardwood clothespin, use a number, I think number 33 rubber band or something like that. Clamp those in, just same as if you were doing new linings, of course. And that's all there is to it. There's one more of these to go, and that will be done. There was a little bit of damage here where the router got into the lining a little deep and into the heel block. So here, I just made a piece of basswood, and I used basswood for one reason only, because it will sand away quickly and just come right down to the surface with the rest of it without a lot of misery, so to speak. It's just going to be quick and easy. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to clamp that down, but I think a Luther's clamp will fit underneath here. Let's find out. Willing to take a risk here. Glue that up. Stick it on there, and so far so good. You could probably let it set there and not worry too much about it. But we'll try a cam clamp on it and see what it does. And it works nicely, so there we are. It's glued down. And the next step will be to go around this thing with the 40-foot radius dish and then remortise in the bracing and glue the top down. So that was pretty short and sweet, but that's where we are right now with this thing. thanks an awful lot for watching. Hope this was entertaining.